Yo, I'm on the roof. I don't know what I'm doing up here. Been doing a lot of thinking recently. I don't know, I just thought maybe it'd be good to sit and talk to the camera. Even just to myself. Sometimes thinking out loud's good. I feel like when you speak out loud, you almost get to know yourself. Sometimes your thoughts aren't quite as solidified as your words. You know, even just speaking those thoughts out loud. I wonder how this all came to be. Just us. Why am I not like a bird? Or a piece of soil or a worm? Kind of a funny thought. Kind of a funny thought that you sort of die, get put in the floor, turn into soil. And then, I don't know, your body eventually just degrades into nutrients, which something will grow out of. And then if that's something, depending on whatever that something is, might get eaten or burnt or fossilized, who knows? It's just kind of cool how everything's in a constant state of change. Like, yeah, you're a living, conscious human being now, but in 20,000 years, the same thing that is currently you might be a fucking apple tree or a lampshade. So is that not an interesting thought? I think that's a pretty interesting thought. And then there's also the thought, like, trees are a living thing, but they don't speak or see or hear. I wonder if they feel. I don't know. They communicate through the, roots and shit. So that's pretty cool. So where is the line between living and not living cross? You know? Like, I'm alive, a worm's alive, a tree's alive. Is the dirt alive? Probably not, but who knows, really? The dirt's capable of making something living. I don't know, man. And then there's the whole thought of, although I'm alive, I'm just made of living things. That's a whole nother thought. You got this massive microbiome in your gut that coexists and lives inside of you. And then you've got all these red and white blood cells that are all our own sort of like little beings that make up you. Is anything really just one living thing, or is everything just one big living thing? Now that's a thought. Imagine all your red blood cells are like little humans all coexisting in like a world as individuals, but they actually make up you. What if we're all red blood cells coexisting on this earth, but we actually just make up like the universe? I'm just talking shit, but could be anything. I love the thought of clouds, hey? Imagine you live in a world that doesn't have clouds, right? Right now, not a cloud in the fucking sky. This is actually the first time I've looked around and not been able to see a single cloud. You know, usually you look around and you're, I don't know, that might be fog. No clouds in the sky right now. It's crazy. Not often do you see literally no clouds. Yeah, imagine you lived in a world with no clouds and then you were trying to explain clouds to people. Yeah, they're these giant fluffy, I don't know, well, they're not fluffy. They look fluffy though. These giant balls of white shit that just float around in the air, but they can be black and gray and sometimes even rainbow. And occasionally they're there and occasionally they're not. And they can be shaped as anything, you know. They can be a dragon or a thumbs up or a car or a plane. They can be shaped as anything. And every now and then they drop water out of the sky. And I'm not talking a little bit of water, I'm talking buckets of water, like drown your fucking neighborhood buckets of water. Oh yeah, and then, occasionally they'll just shoot electricity at you. I'm not talking a little bit of electricity, I'm talking like big bolts that blow up your house. Oh yeah, and if that's not enough, they'll occasionally drop big balls of ice out of the sky as well. Fucking what, bro? I like how we all just hear that and we're like, yeah, that makes sense. I can fuck with that. Oh, isn't that so funny? How you just become so normalized to shit like that. I would love to see the Northern Lights. It's actually one thing I don't know how the Northern Lights work. I'm gonna go look into that afterwards. Also, the reason I'm just sitting on my roof talking to the camera today rather than the normal sort of vlogging type of content, same with last night, something a little bit mindful, a bit of gratitude is just a bit unwell at the moment. Not 100%, so just taking it easy, letting the body recover and that. But no excuses. Always got to put something out there. We show up every day, no matter the excuse or the reason or whatever you want to call it. Kind of terrifying, the thought of space. You know, you look up at the stars at night time and they're just sort of there and they don't change. They're the same every single night. I mean, they're different depending on where you live, but you know, they're always the same. And we don't really know what we're looking at. When you look at a star, it's so far away that the light has had to travel from that star to you. And by the time it gets to you, what you're seeing isn't actually the present, it's the past. So, for example, say there's some alien 100 million light years away looking down at Earth. He'd be looking at dinosaurs and shit because the light from this time has only just managed to travel from here to there. So although we're currently existing in this moment, that alien, or whatever you want to call it, 100 million years away, is seeing dinosaurs, which is actually in the past. And that kind of reminds me of reincarnation for some reason. If reincarnation is a real thing, then we are everyone. Because sooner or later, you will die and be reincarnated as old mate. And then you'll die and be reincarnated as, I don't know, some peasant in the 16th century. And then you'll die and be reincarnated as Mr. Bezos. Sooner or later, you will have lived the life of everyone to have ever existed. And that sort of means every single positive thing you do to yourself, every single negative thing you do to another person, you do to yourself. Every single action you take towards another person is sort of towards yourself. And as much as I don't really know what I believe in, I've been dabbling a lot in God lately, just like Pentecostalism and stuff, but I do like to think of reincarnation just because it's good to sort of, you know, just treat people how you want to be treated. I feel like it's always a good way to approach things. Just always be kind. Kindness doesn't cost anything. It's being positive. Close your eyes real quick. Well, don't close your eyes yet, but look around the room. And I want you to pick out everything in your room that is, I don't know, we'll say white. Every single white thing in the room. The walls, whatever it is, the fan. Now close your eyes. Tell me everything in the room that was red. You're probably sitting there going, shit, I can't think of many red things. But if you open your eyes back up and you look for red, you can see probably a fair bit of red. And I like to think of the same thing sort of just as life as a whole. If you sit there and look to confirm things that are negative, you will find so much negative in life. But if you sit there and look for the positive, you will realise that you were just surrounded by absolute beautiful gifts and opportunities, pardon me, and just so much more. We really are beyond blessed. When I was in, I think it was year 10 or 11 in English, we watched this movie, I think it was called The Kings of Leon, about this little Indian boy who, pretty sure lived in Mumbai, one of those big cities in India. And his mother was a really poor, single mother, and he had a few brothers. And his brother used to go out to the train station and beg and forage and all that. And, and so I was waving at some kid on the street. And when he was 5 or 6 and he was starting to grow up a little bit, not grow up a little bit, but you know, he asked his brother, like, can I come out with you? And his brother was hesitant, but he said yes. And he took him to the train station, and at the train station he got tired and he told him, oh, stay here, sleep on this bench. So he did that, and he slept on the bench and he woke up and his brother still wasn't there, and he waited and his brother still wasn't there, and there was this train at the platform, had a door open. So he's walked in there looking for his brother thinking, oh yeah, he might be in the train. The train doors have shut. Oh no, the train doors didn't shut. He stayed in the train, fell asleep in the train. Train doors shut. Train's gone across India to the other side of India, like 14 hours, and he's woken up in a completely different country where they speak a different dialect of language, and he can't figure out what anyone's saying. He's got no idea where he is. It's a pretty crazy movie. I won't spoil the rest of it, but you should go watch it. It just made me realise, like, oh, wow, You know, you wake up, oh, it's cold, oh, it's this or that. It's like, bro, you legit could have woken up 14 hours away from home, surrounded by people that don't speak your language, in a place where, like, getting kidnapped is pretty highly likely. It's like, yo, obviously comparison's the thief of joy. You should never compare to yourself to others, but just compare yourself to you yesterday. As long as you today are better than you yesterday, even by 0.1%, that's an improvement. It's better than staying stationary. That was a fire bird noise or what? What's going on? Yeah, just posted, eh? You can see the mountain ranges from up here. It's pretty good.
Nice spot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad, not at all.
You got the drone out?
Nah, not at the moment, just sitting. Have a good one, man. Solar panels are so dusty. Gotta clean them. Let's get some sunlight on us. Nice to have that sun on me. That's just my date of birth and my name. I'm not gonna leak anything. How good. Actually, I can take this shit off. I don't need it. Wrappable. Nice bracelet, man. 21 degrees, feels like 18, I reckons. 7 kilometers of wind. Oh, it just changed. What's the wind saying? Nothing. Alright, fair enough. 13 kilometers of northerly. Poo. Just mad I'm not surfing. Kids riding down the street on their bike. Bruh, the world is healing. Sometimes they're like, yo, maybe everything's gonna be alright. You'll be eating at the pub or something. You see some kid on their iPad and you're like, yo, bro, that kid's can't even talk yet and he's already glued to the screen. Like, what happens when he's fucking, 15 and he's at school or something? Like, how's that kid gonna pay attention when you've already got him just mentally overstimulated with super bright, crazy, shortcut fucking content like that? So, nah. Keep my kid away from the iPad word. Obviously, I'll teach him how to use a computer and stuff. It's important that you know how to use technology, but keeping him away from the iPad for real. The fuck is that noise? Anyway, I think I'm gonna go back inside for an hour, and I'm gonna come back up here when the sun sets a bit more. So I'll probably bring you back up here again. I've actually been really enjoying just having a waffle and looking around. Oosh, cockatoo by himself too. You don't see that often. They're always in packs of 1 million. Ah, I knew there'd be another one. There he is. They never fly by themselves. Blessed you to the neighbour, holy. Almost blew up the kitchen. I wonder if he could pick up the mic. Anyway, I will speak to you when I'm back on the roof. Pretty nice. There's no clouds, so it's mostly just sky colour. None of that crazy orange cloud crap, but I don't roll with that. It's just nice being up here. So let's run through a little, I don't know, I'll call it an exercise. I want you to close your eyes and imagine it's 2035. You've just woken up. Who's the partner next to you in bed? What mattress are you laying on? What covers do you pull off you in the morning? And when you hop out of bed and you look down at the floor, what is the floor made of? When you look up at the walls, what do you have on them? Is it pictures of your loved ones? Is it posters of your favourite band? Is it artwork? When you walk into your bathroom to have a shower, what does it look like? What does your bathroom look like? Do you have a big shower, small shower? Do you have a bath or no bath? Do you have a sauna? What's it look like, you know? Is it made of tiles or wood? When you walk into your closet or when you open your closet to go get dressed, what does your closet look like? What clothes are in your closet? What coat hangers do you use? Really envision every little bit of the life that you want. You know, when you walk in your kitchen, what's the bench made of? What's in the fridge? What fridge do you have? What car are you gonna drive? Do you want kids? I don't know. Obviously, you don't need to know the answer to all these things straight away, but I think having that vision of what you want your life to look like, exactly, detail for detail. No, I'm not talking just some broad, I want a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. I'm talking exactly down to the detail. What do you want? Because once you decide exactly what you want down to the detail, you start working on it. You start making that shit real. It's pretty cool. And that's just like a material thing. You might not even want a house. Maybe you do so much reflecting on the house you want, you realize, damn, I don't even want a house. I want a log cabin out in the forest. Maybe you don't even want a log cabin. Maybe you just want a backpack and a tent, and you can just go walk through fucking Yosemite Park camping or something. I don't know. You don't have to conform to societal norms. Societal norms are just what the majority of people do, and the majority of people, make up that group of norm, I guess. My sister's friends just rocked up and her mum's looking at me like I'm a madman, which I am. I'm talking to the camera. Do you wake up in the morning and you've already got what you want? Maybe all this time you thought, oh, I want this, I want that, and then you've gone and reflected on it and you've realised, oh shit, I've already got all the clothes I want, I've already got the floor I want, I've already got the room I want, I've already got the car I want, I've already got the food in the fridge I want. There's not much more that I want, And I really think the secret to life is not wanting. The less you need, the more you have, I guess. Because in needing nothing, you're just content. It's like monks. Just live up in the mountains in a robe. In silence. Just doing stuff. That'd be a crazy life. I don't know if crazy is the word for it, but I think it'd send me crazy. I know. I don't know because I haven't done it, but I certainly think it would send me crazy. Hey, Ola. Yeah, but my sister's friend goes, hey, yo, do you like your brother? She's like, yeah, he's pretty cool. I'll take it. Another thought is, I heard Jim Carrey, I think it was Jim Carrey, talking about this the other day, about how his father didn't chase his dream of being a comedian or whatever it was, and decided to, go get an education in finance and get a safe job as an accountant. And then, somewhere down the line, he got let go from that job. And it made him realise that you can fail in things that you don't want to do. So you might as well try and maybe fail or maybe succeed in the thing you want to do. As long as you wake up every day and you're moving towards something, not just staying stationary, not getting blown around in the wind like a feather. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing videos like this. I think I like the balance between a bit of this and like doing stuff, but today I can't really do much, so it's mostly just yapping. But I'll cut all the long pauses and all the other random garbage that doesn't make sense, because I've spat out some serious nonsense in some of this, some of which you'll hear, some of which you won't. But I'll try to articulate it the way I want it to be now, and then hopefully I can do some video editing magic and it'll come out real good. The one I did yesterday was just raw and uncut, but that shit took ages to write. I was doing some deep thoughts, some deep reflection for real. Probably just keep the key points from this. Do another 5-10 minute be on the roof and that. Anyway, I'm gonna go say hello to my sister and my mum. I might include some random footage of me like doing something later tonight. I think I might be going and getting dinner. I might eat here, I have no idea, to be honest. Anyway, you're loved. Smile more.